In the last video, we had a great opportunity to interview Winston Law and learn a great lot about baseball in Malaysia. When asked who he would like to thank for contributing to Malaysian baseball, this is what he had to say.
The person who actually bring the most impact into baseball Malaysia will be David Sakamoto San.
David Sakamoto San was the name. I've heard many legends about the Sid, David Sakamoto San. Some say he is the most handsome man who have ever walked the earth. Some say he is cooler than cool. He is cool, cooler, and coolest. But most call him the father of Malaysian baseball, being a man who had raised the first generation of Malaysian baseball players. Join us as we dive deeper into Malaysian baseball and find out who is David Sakamoto San.
Who's that Pokemon? It's
David Sakamoto San.
Keep your glove down.
Okay, I've rolled it, so. Alright, how old are you?
How old am I? I'm going to be 57 this year.
Whoa. How does it feel to be 57 this year?
I'm old. I feel really old now.
Okay, alright, let's start.
Okay.
Okay. So, tell me a bit about yourself and how you ended up in Malaysia.
I came to Malaysia in 1987, and right after I finished my university. I was supposed to be a teacher in Japan, but I just felt like spending a few years overseas before being teachers, so that probably I can accumulate some different experiences that I got in Japan. I signed up for the language school teacher's job for 3 years, but after that I extended. Then now I end up in Malaysia for 30 over years.
Damn!
How do you start baseball in Malaysia?
It was quite accidental, to be frank. I happened to meet some guys playing something like baseball in Padang Astaka PJ. And I got to know them by participating in their so-called training, because they had just come back from a mini tournament in Bangkok in 1999, if I'm not mistaken. And that's a very fast batch of baseball players in Malaysia. And since I have experience, I joined them training, and it ended up I'm more like a player come coach.
Have you ever coached the national team before? And yeah.
Yeah, my first assignment is 1999, which is called Asia Cup, which was held in India. Then second one is 2001, another next edition of Asia Cup, which was in Indonesia. Then I was coaching the national team at the 2011 SEA Games in Indonesia as well.
After so many years, why do you still come to the field every week to play baseball?
I feel I still haven't achieved my goal yet, which is providing a good baseball player to the national team. As long as the national team is here, my goal is providing training Malaysian player to make a better player to the national team.
Do you think baseball is popular in Malaysia?
You mean right now or going to be?
Right now and going to be.
Right now, totally no, because probably many Malaysian kids play softball. So softball is very much popular here. But many softball players feel that changing from softball to baseball seems quite tough. It looks like it looks quite similar, but I'd say it's as different as handball and football. So they really need to focus on the baseball if they are serious about it. And that's the reason why I started the club. Because previously many softball players just play baseball when tournament comes. So they use their softball skills to baseball. But sometimes baseball has different skills and they need to have training. That's why I set up the club focusing only on the baseball, not like part-time softball, part-time baseball.
What do you think needs to be done to further promote baseball in Malaysia?
One thing is the facility, because sad to say there's no proper baseball field in this country. Thailand has, Indonesia has, Singapore used to have, and going to have one. If you do not have much experience playing on a proper baseball field, it's quite difficult to play in a proper field when you play overseas. They need to get used to the size of the field, so that if Malaysia has one proper baseball field, the situation could change drastically. And maybe another thing is federations read to the people to what direction the Malaysian baseball is heading for. After all, I'm just a coach of one club team. I don't have control over all the baseball activity here. So the leadership at the National Association is quite essential, I feel.
How did you put the team together and start a club, and what were some of the difficulties you faced?
It's like when I started, it's like a bunch of guys who just want to play baseball. But gradually they start focusing playing in international tournaments. So if they just come and play for fun, probably they cannot achieve anything out of Malaysia. So that we need to train a little bit harder, at least competitive level as other countries. That's how we started. And at that time, the main reason for I coach the team is providing the player to the national team, because early 2000 they start sending team to overseas for tournament. But of course part-time softball player cannot match to so-called baseball players from other countries. So we need to focus more on the baseball, and we train baseball, not the softball. Then use my team as a platform to provide a proper baseball player to the national team. That's how I started.
Okay. What is your philosophy on baseball, and what do you hope the members that played in your team learn through baseball?
From my point of view, this could be biased, but any sports like football or even softball, teams that consist of same race, which I do not feel comfortable. If you pick up the best player, it should be based on the skills, based on the capability, not the race, not age, not whatever. So that for Raiders, we try to pick up the best player regardless of age, regardless of race, regardless of nationality, whatever. And I try to motivate this philosophy to everybody.
Is there anyone you will want to thank in helping you develop baseball in Malaysia?
I want to thank everybody who come to training, every training, and because coach can be a coach only when there are players. I can't coach myself if we don't have players. So having player is the most important thing to be a coach. So that I just want to thank everybody who come to training.
What were your most happy moments in playing baseball?
For my life or in Malaysia?
For your life.
Happiest moment. Well, it may not be the moment, but one thing good about playing baseball is I get to know many people through baseball. If I don't play baseball here, probably I may not know many Malaysians. except for the business relations. But by playing baseball, I can meet all different kind of people who just come to play baseball.